This mom is currently on trial for unaliving her 1-year-old. Now, what's interesting is that she claims insanity. There weren't a lot of details to go on other than when the police arrived to the home, the baby was unalived and she was also hurt. Now, there was no reason, like we couldn't figure out why. Well, now we've got opening statements. Let's get into it. According to the prosecutor, Chloe Driver was in a cult. She was one of 3 wives, and she was with Ryan Lewis. Now, initially, she was the main wife, and then all of a sudden, in the past couple of years, he added 2 more women. And they all lived together as a big family. They all had alternative names, where Chloe was actually known as Kuwani, and the baby Hannah was actually known as Nimse. Now, she talks more about the cult, and she states that they were vegan. They did not eat anything outside of vegetables, etc. They only drank purified water, and they did not believe in modern medicine, which is the reason why Hannah didn't even have a birth certificate, nor has she ever been taken to a pediatrician. They also have alternative healing practices, such as drinking their own urine, sensory deprivation, and meditation. Now, the thing is that she does share that all of them, the 3 wives and him, had the same belief system. And it was to essentially challenge traditional worldviews, as if they were the ones that were smarter than everyone. They knew why they were here on earth, and that everything everyone else outside of them was doing was incorrect. Now, she stated that they were essentially nomads. They traveled around a lot, and they coincidentally ended up in Georgia. They were traveling from North Carolina to Florida. Now, again, it's Ryan, the husband, Chloe, and then the other 2 women, the 1-year-old, Hannah, and then a guy friend that apparently would hang out with them, lived with them. I don't know. He was a family friend, always with them. They traveled around a lot, and on this particular day, they had traveled from North Carolina to Georgia. They were going to move to Florida, so they had a U-Haul, multiple cars, but Ryan lived in a house in Georgia, and his friends still lived in that home, so he had a few things that were left in the basement that they needed to stop to pick up before arriving to Florida. This is the house. So they stop, and while Ryan is with that family friend picking up everything, their friend George, he actually worked remotely, so he was kind of in his office on a Zoom call. The 2 wives went upstairs to one room to take a nap. Chloe and the baby went to a different room to also take a nap. The report states that she went downstairs, grabbed the knife, came back upstairs, locked the door, hurt her daughter, and then herself in her neck. Now, when they were getting ready to go, everybody's waiting for her to come down. Finally, Ryan goes upstairs, realizes the door is locked, heard some noise, and breaks down the door. At that point, witnesses say that they heard a horrible scream, and that he also started screaming, "What did you do? What did you do?" He tried to save the baby. The other friend comes running upstairs, who is then trying to save Chloe and kind of holding her neck. She was bleeding. They go to the hospital. A couple of days later, Hannah passes, the baby. Now, they are claiming insanity. And what the prosecution is stating is, if she's insane, did she understand what she was doing was right or wrong? She is stating that one of the reasons she believes that she was not insane is because, number one, she locked the door. She planned it to where everybody was busy. She goes downstairs, grabs the knife, comes back upstairs, locks the door. 2, the first time when she woke up, one of the first questions that she asked the police, and she had to write it down because she had something like a trachea. I can't think of the terminology, but she couldn't speak. She asked them, "How long will my present sentence be for unaliving her?" Okay. And again, it was as if she planned it, because when they started researching her cell phone, she had actually done multiple searches. One of them called, "How do you unalive someone while saving them?" how to snap a neck. She then was evaluated by a psychiatrist. Psychiatrist stated, she felt she had no other way out. You see, what the prosecution is stating is that Chloe was upset that Ryan brought in these two additional women, and that she didn't want to share her husband with him. But unfortunately, he was not going to walk away from his beliefs, nor walk away from the other two wives. So she met with psychiatrists and she blamed him. And she stated that she was essentially oppressed. She couldn't leave, and pretty much blaming everything on him as to that was the only way for her to get out of this horrible marriage, etc. However, while she was meeting with the psychiatrist and essentially building her case, she was then meeting lawyers and finding out how she could set up this case and utilize insanity. Also, while doing all of that, she's calling him hundreds of times to speak to him and to tell him, I love you. Now, was she stuck? Well, the prosecution says she wasn't stuck. She could have left him. Why? Because she had a support system. Her parents, she was apparently very close to and had actually seen them the day before with Hannah, the baby. Second, they found cash and multiple blank checks. When they go to that bank account, she had over $65,000 in that bank account. So again, prosecution is stating she could have left, but she didn't want to leave. She didn't want to leave without him. So what she did was unalive Hannah and hurt herself as a way to make him react, because he didn't want to give up his beliefs and stay only with her. Now, again, this is opening statements. So this is just the prosecution. As you see, it was a little bit long. I will go ahead and shortly post the defense opening statement and any additional information we have on this case. Talk to you soon.